I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence, then let them in, chalk up their body, another one body, that's just how it go. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane, I to stay on the go. I came to play with the pros and act like a rookie, so they overlook me, then I double up again, none of they know.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Startup on the Blocks. Come on up, Rodney. Glad to have you here today. Welcome to Startup on the Blocks. Yeah, glad to have you here, Rodney.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes, and we'll get started off. I'll talk a little bit about Startup on the Block so people can kind of understand what that is. And we're excited to, we kicked off 2022 last week, and we had a really good session with Cameron Howard with his new startup. And so we're looking forward to working with him this year. So let's get my PowerPoint up here and just introduce folks to what Startup on the Blocks is all about for all the new folks that are visiting here with us tonight. Let's see here. Share my screen. Okay. So first I want to pay a little respect to our sponsors. Innisfree Hotel, they've been helping us out since we started. They were one of our first sponsors, sponsored a couple of pitch competitions, and we work closely with the Gulf Coast Minority Chamber of Commerce. Brian Wire, he's a godsend for us, and he's our connecting point for all information related to minority businesses and our just a really great connector. The Bantucola Chamber, they help sponsor our pitch competitions as well with free memberships to the chamber. Bantucola, they are our streaming partner, and they also have a business directory of Black-owned businesses, and so they're trying to promote the growth of minority businesses here in the community. And of course, we depend on the Small Business Development Center. Those folks really helped us with our branding and helped us get the program kind of kicked off. And our last pitch competition, a third one, was sponsored by the First Bank, and we really appreciate their support. And our title sponsor is Gulf Power. So they've been a really big help to us. We've had 67 events. This is our 68th event, and so we're pushing close to 1,600 participants and 3 pitch competition, 56 portfolio startups, and we provide some internal support for them. Our 67 events, they're open to everyone, and our deal is we want to provide founders an opportunity to network. And then at 7, when we do our best practice training, we want to have guests on. We want to have founders on. We want to have organizations that are in the ecosystem on to kind of support what we're doing. So we have Rodney today, and next week we have another founder that we're going to partner with to hear about what she has going on. And if you know a founder or somebody that has some expertise out there that that could actually provide some guidance for our founders, that would be fantastic as well. I went to a networking event last night over at the Jetty IoT, and that was really fantastic. Met a couple of great people over there, and a couple that we'll bring on as guests. And so we encourage our founders to network, and we have a networking session from 6 to 7 at our event. And so it's a really neat opportunity to meet other founders and chat with them and so that you can kind of learn from each other. This is our Bible here. We're all about helping people learn the best practices for building a startup. That means you don't have to have a company already started. You literally can have an idea, and we want to show you the path to going from that idea to creating a product, and you can get a lot of help along the way. And so that's what our approach is with the Startup on the Blocks program. So we have this playbook, and the reason for the playbook is just so you can kind of have a guide to kind of go by. And so not everybody knows about what it is to be a founder. So that first item there, that's what that's for, to kind of help give you an idea what the idea of being a founder. And then you have to learn the methodology as an entrepreneur. You have to learn the methodology for building, going from an idea to a product. So that leanstack.com, it provides the information on that. And so, and the neat thing is this year, we're actually going to be using the Lean Stack training with our portfolio companies and to kind of guide them through the process to know how to build a company, a startup. And so in the meantime, there's a connection to Y Combinator. So the playbook, the number one, that was done by the guy who got help found Y Combinator. And number 3, the startup school, it's actually also was sponsored by Y Combinator. It's free, and it's also an ecosystem to where you can get connected with other founders. It's also an ecosystem where you can actually find co-founders for your idea, and you get to the school, you get to work on your own company, and so it's a curriculum there that's it's free and it's to kind of help you move forward. The next thing we tell people to create their profiles on the founder sites. When I say profile, I mean your personal profile and your business profile. And so you can actually become known. So Rodney, you're a commercial banker by trade. And so what I was saying, one of the things I was saying last week is, you have to have good credit, or your business have to have good credit in order to get a loan for your business. In the startup ecosystem world, you build up your credibility. They don't use credit. They use your credibility based on your team and based on your profile and what you have demonstrated you have accomplished so far in the startup world. And when you build your profile on these sites, you get free products and services or discount products and services that you don't have to pay for. So this is just resources that you can actually use, but you also get alerted to all the training that's available for founders, and also the investments that are available for founders, pitch competitions that are available for founders. And so it's really a no-brainer to leverage these types of resources. And one of the key things I was saying earlier, number 5 is you have to attend networking events. So we host weekly networking events where for people to network and meet each other and find out things to move you forward. So, for example, I met a gentleman named Mike last night, and he's looking to support 250 veterans to entrepreneurs to grow their business. And so he has connections to other accelerator programs. And so he's going to connect us with those accelerator programs. So as our veterans learn and make progress on their startup, they can actually get recommended for those other accelerator programs like at Bunker Labs. And so that's the importance of networking is kind of get out there. And finally, there are a lot of things out in the ecosystem. We put out a weekly newsletter that sort of lets you know some of the things that are out there. And so it's we say definitely leverage the ecosystem. And so, but you have to become aware of what's out there to get the help you need. And there's really no shortage of stuff out there. So that's kind of what our playbook is. Rodney, had you seen that before?
I've seen that before, Lord, and I think it's wonderful, especially number 5, where you said, there's a lot of ways to fund a business without having any debt. I'm sorry, number 4. And to me, that's the best way to do it. And I think those things out there are available to you because you're actually building your brand, building your team, all those things that are there, take advantage of, and those things don't have to become, a cost to you or worse yet, debt. And I know that's kind of strange to hear from a lender, but worse yet, debt. So, if you can go into it with at least debt as much as you can, that's more opportunity for success at the end of the day. So, yes, I think that's wonderful. And I've seen that before. Yes.
Great. And part of that lean startup methodology training, this is a chart that sort of kind of explains what it is. So the first portion of that green, the foundations part of it, one of the key things is you have to learn how to pitch your idea clearly and concisely. And so what that means is, I guess I'll give an analogy to the bank. So what kind of package does a person have to have, a business have to get a loan at a bank, Ronnie? What are some of the things they need?
Some of the main thing, Lord, is that you're looking at the business, you're looking at the person as well. When you come in, you've got to have tax returns, financial statements, and a clear and concise, if not written, business plan where you can sort of convey that to the banker, and then you have to bring in your personal returns and your personal financial statement. So, and then, we're looking for your liquidity and all that kind of stuff. So the lean, I think, is a great avenue in lieu of debt, as I said.
Yeah. And so what that foundation thing, it says learning how to pitch your idea clearly and concisely. Mm-hmm. So what that means is and you kind of have to do the analogy of a package for a loan at a bank. But in the case of a startup or somebody that's got an idea, you have to clearly say, who your customers are and what problem you're trying to solve for those customers. You have to say, what your solution is, what kind of traction you have with those potential customers. Who's your competition, what's different about you and your competition, and where are you along the process of building your idea? You may have just came up with the idea a month ago, but you may have a roadmap where you're going to actually, your team is going to be able to put something together, and you're at this point now where you got a wireframe demo of your product, and then maybe 3 months from now you'll have some minimal viable product. And so you literally have to pitch your idea clearly and concisely, and you have to learn how to do that, know what's required in that package. And so when we do our pitch competition, Rodney, we say, describe or pitch your idea in 250 words. So in those 250 words, we want them to say clearly what problem they're solving, who their customers are, who their potential customers are, and what their idea for a solution for that, and how much are they going to probably charge for that, and all this kind of stuff like that. So that's kind of what that first section of this foundation thing.
Yeah, and that's similar to what you would do in a bank. But normally in a bank, the business is already mature. It's not in the startup phase. So a lot of the stuff there is the same thing that we would look for in a loan application. Yeah, it's already there's been defined. There's a track record, and so this is at the very beginning. And could you go back to the slide before? I wanted to make a I think because this is important. A lot of the things there we can help, and as you know, Laura, I'm the director of business engagement for the Spring, part of SCI's Community Institute, and I wanted to just mention that this year we're putting on some how-to, which goes well with what you're talking about in this slide, right? Yeah, some of those things like how to start your business plan, how to start your projections, and they're going to have experts come in and teach these classes. How to get your small business funded, manage your finances, market and brand your small business, what's the best on social media. And when you think about these 6 things, I just wanted to mention, and so that if anybody wants to take advantage of that, I would highly recommend it.
I'll put a link to that in the chat. And I'll put it up here in a second, Rodney, so we can show people what that is. Yeah, and so basically, the neat thing about this foundation part of the course, we're going to open that up to kind of almost everyone, to take advantage of that training that's there, because that's literally the foundation. When we say take advantage of the stuff that's in the ecosystem. So when you like on this F6S site, they have applications on there for all these different training programs, funding programs. They have applications on there, for free stuff, and you have to pitch your idea. But and so that's why this foundation part is so important. And the other thing you said, Rodney, is for established businesses, they already did this. And so what we're trying to do, we're trying to help get to people where they can launch their product or service and have an established business. So our program is to get you ready to launch. And if you've already launched your product or service and still needing some help, with your customers and how to move forward, solve some technical things, we can help you with that too. But our programs, we want you to create stuff. I guess that's kind of my standpoint on that.
Yeah. I mean, you're actually dealing with a startup here, so and giving them all the tools to start their business. And I like the number one where you said, the mindset of a founder.
Yeah, and that's really amazing. That mindset thing. That I'll tell people like that. My first accelerator program that I was in with a bunch of veterans, and in the military they teach you, in DoD they teach you how to avoid risk, but this methodology for the startup world, it's all about actually failing fast. So you do experiments and find out whether something's going to work or not. You don't spend like 6 months or a year working on something and then go get feedback. In the startup world, you get feedback as short as every week or every 2 weeks.
Sure. Yeah.
From the customer. So you don't go out there and build something that the customer's not willing to pay for.
Right.
Yeah. And we're going to have some applications for the second part of this this program, where you actually validate your business model. And that's going to be the training where how you can, move to the next step and actually validate your idea and make you're sure what you have. But if you don't have your idea clear and concise, how are you going to build it?
Right.
Yeah. So
right.
Yeah. So you got to clearly define that.
And how would you convey it to someone else?
That's exactly right. And so we definitely want to provide the mentorship support that our founders need, and so that's another avenue. And I found out uh, just this week there are other programs out there, that do mentorship that we can partner with to kind of expand our mentor base as well, to support.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's basically what the deal is there. So I'll stop sharing there, and so I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, Ron, and tell us a little bit about what your role is at the Student Community Institute, and we'll get into talking a little bit about how you got into the commercial banking stuff and
Sure.
and all that good stuff.
Sure. Thanks, Lloyd. I appreciate it. Of course, you and I know each other, but my name is Rodney Jackson, and just a little bit of background very quickly. Pensacola native, went to Pensacola High, go Tigers, and left there and I went in the military for about 6 years. Went to Delaware State University, and then went into banking for the next almost 30 years.
Okay.
Most of it been on the commercial side of the house. And doing commercial lending, things like office building, hotels, churches, things of that sort.
Yeah.
And spent 21 years in the Pensacola market, which Pensacola is my hometown, and then spent the last 8 years in the Dallas market. And it was a different world. Loans there, maybe 3 or 4 million in Pensacola. Out here, they're 30, 40 million. So
wow, that's a big difference.
Yeah, but now at the Student Community Institute, mainly, specifically the Spring Director of Economic Development, has taken the role in Pensacola, come back and sort of help our hometown. One of the statistics that really kind of got me was that less than 3% of the businesses in Escambia County are owned by minorities.
Yeah, that's a scary statistic.
Yeah, it is. I mean, think about that. That's less than 1 in 10. So as the Director of Business Engagement, I'm really kind of tasked with growing, starting and expanding minority business in Escambia County. And at the Spring, there's a lot of avenues and a lot of resources that we can provide. But I really would like to do that one-on-one. Like I'm working with a guy who needed to get some capital and was turned down by the traditional banks, and was able to get him over to CEII. And, he's going through the loan process now, which looks pretty favorable. There's other ways of getting capital as well. I like that one-on-one. So that's pretty much my role, and come in there and have some success here in the first few months of being back. And I look forward to working with anyone. So if I can help in any way, please let me know.
That's fantastic. So you're saying that, so your role, is it just for Pensacola, Escambia County, or is it for all of Northwest Florida here?
Mainly Pensacola and Santa Rosa County.
Okay.
That's kind of our footprint.
Okay.
That sort of thing. So we can go over to Okaloosa County. I don't mind helping anyone, but mainly Pensacola and Milton, Santa Rosa, Escambia County.
Yeah. So you what problems have you seen so far? So you've been here off and on about 6 months now?
About 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
4 or 5. So it hasn't really been that.
Yeah. But I've seen some issues, Lord, for sure.
Okay. So
I'll give you one example. I had a guy who was doing pretty well, did pretty well during the hurricane. Now the business is kind of flattened out and needed to get some capital, and that's the one I was telling you about. Would also work with him to do his business structure. He, believe it or not, was still a sole proprietor, which has all sort of risks. So we're looking at putting the LLC in, working with him to get a banking relationship. We want to make sure, because at some point we want to move from the non-traditional funding, because you're going to need capital at some point doing your business.
Yeah.
Never seen a business never need a capital. So you're going to need it at some point. So get at the relationship started now, and been able to do those things for them. So that's just one example of what I've seen so far. And I think there is a believe it or not, Lloyd, I'll say this, I think there's a lack of trust there sometimes.
Okay.
And when you go into an office and you're like, well, are you really going to help me, that sort of thing. So if you can get past that, I think that there will be a lot of success there. But that was one example of a capital business structure banking relationship. Those are the sort of things that I think are essential for a business to have, any business, not just a minority business.
Yeah. So, so you mentioned that lack of trust. So, you think that's a challenge with, from the minority side, or it's just trust in general? It doesn't matter if you're a minority. What
I
do you
think it's
think?
from the minority side. I'm
Okay.
honest with you. I mean, I've had some conversations, and there's that, think, well, why don't we go here and go there? And there's just, there's like there's no trust, there's no excitement about it, because they think the end result is going to be a no.
Well,
And I said,
yeah.
well, if we do these things, have these things in line, then I don't think that would be the result, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I think it's, that lack of trust may be a perception of and not really knowing. So I'm going to pull up the spring thing here, uh, and so the to kind of so people can actually see that. So, but the there are a lot of things that happen over at the spring. And so you were mentioning those workshops, and here's the thing about that, and so
Yeah, those are the workshops. Actually, the first one starts next month, Lloyd, on the
mhm.
10th, and that one is how to start your business plan.
Okay,
So, and again, these are all going to be experts that have been in the business world for some time and know those particular areas. And so, I think there's a great way, if you're looking to start a business, these workshops will be an excellent tool to get some knowledge, and not only that, ask some questions.
hmm, gotcha. And so
And I'm actually doing the one, Lord, on how to get your small business funded in June.
okay, yeah. So
I'll be
this
the
one
lead on that.
in June, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really fantastic. And so if I remember right, there's six of these, and I
Right.
think they're $20 each, or you can pay $100 and get.
That's exactly right. They're $20 each, but if you sign up for all six, there is a discount of $20, and you can get it for 100, which I think is a small investment for your
Well,
business.
it's pretty much
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll scroll through this site just so people can understand what the spring is all about. And
Yeah.
we had Rachel come on and talk a little bit about it
Mhm.
once. And but the bottom line is, so when you think about the spring, it's just a resource for the community. And
Right.
so what we want to do right now, Rodney, is we want to overcome that perception that it's not for me if I'm a minority.
Right.
So we want to try to break down, that. And so right now, you're there, and you're working, going to be working with minority businesses to help them move forward. So I wanted the audience to kind of get to know you a little bit, so they can say, well, this is a place that as a minority I can participate in, and I can take advantage of some of the activities that are going on there.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, I totally agree, Lord. Yeah.
yeah, so this VMS program. So what? Tell us a little bit of what you think about
It's
what's the
actually
opportunity.
our mentoring program. We
Yeah.
take applications ever so often. And if you're chosen in that program, you actually have a mentoring team. I think you're a mentor, Lord. I know that you are in
Yeah,
some
yeah,
points.
yep, I
And
am.
I've actually enjoyed my time being a mentor. And what the mentor teams do is you have a group of experts on that team that can help you with your business. And I'm actually a mentor for two different businesses, and
Hmm.
then there's different skill sets on those teams. I know one I sit on. There's a guy that's was a former CEO of a hospital. I
Okay.
was a banker, and then you've got a guy that worked in the military in terms of medical, and then you have a CPA. In fact, the CPA from Bantucola,
Okay.
his own
Mhm.
firm. So those are the type of teams that you will have if you're chosen for that program. It's an excellent program. to go through. One of our success stories was Natives Cafe on the beach. They had a team of mentors that did very well, and one of their mentors was the CEO of Waffle House. And if you know Native Cafe, they're a breakfast place. So what a match. And, they actually just announced not long ago they're going to double in size.
Wow.
And they really were appreciative of being in the program and having that mentorship, and especially from the gentleman that was the former CEO of Waffle House. I mean, think about that. Waffle House is a huge organization. This gentleman is chief operating officer, and to have him come mentor your small business, your small cafe, is invaluable. And it's invaluable. I mean, so and those things are that's one of the things that we do at the spring.
Yeah, and so and what we have to with Startup on the Block. So as we see our founders maturing and then making progress, we definitely can recommend them to apply for that VMS program and vouch that they're actually ready to be a part of that. And and what's, like you said, what's unique about it, you get a team of mentors, working with you and your team to actually help you move forward.
Yeah. Okay. And very seasoned team. I mean, these are very seasoned people, for sure. I mean, if you're in the medical space and you're starting your business, and on your team is a gentleman that, oh my gosh,
Is that still there, Rodney?
Yeah, I'm still here. I gotta get you back there, Lloyd.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you fine. And
okay.
I'll flip through this while you. So the other thing that's
there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, but I wanted to mention, because I want to bring this home and make it relative. I mean, if you're in a medical space and one of the people that is on your team managed a hospital and was a CEO of the hospital, and I was just sitting there and like, wow, this is in awe. Like, okay, he's going through our financials and understand the medical space and understand the financials for medical, and you have that mentorship. I was like, wow, this is a great program. And I would encourage anyone to apply. And I think your would be a great resource, like you said, Lloyd, for folks that you think are now ready to actually enter and apply for the program.
Yes. And so so eventually, they may start targeting people at earlier stages. Right now, they're targeting companies that are up and running and doing stuff. So. But our job as the Startup on the Blocks is to prepare you to be ready to take advantage of these programs. And so the spring also has this asset map that sort of kind of can guide you through the products and services that are here in the local community. So so definitely take some time to go to the site and kind of see what's actually going on. And I was just noticing this startup events. So what the deal is, we're going to be putting out, and I actually had this in the newsletter this last time. So the local co-working spaces and the Kukua Institute, we're going to be sponsoring monthly, startup socials, so people can actually network with other in-person network with other people in the startup ecosystem. So we're excited. That'll get launched. It's going to be always on the first Tuesday of the month, and it's going to start off at Jetty IoT out on Brancas, and so you all will be hosting one of the months down there at the spring as well. Right now, I don't know if Gracie made the announcement yet, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and then we're at the Kukua Institute. I think our turn is going to be in April to kind of host that. But that's something pretty neat.
So what the and that ecosystem map, that you just, that is a great tool for anyone just to kind of get a quick glance of things that are available in our community.
We took
some time to put that together, and it gives you a great little roadmap to where you are and the things that are available to you based on where you are.
That's exactly right. So it's definitely a really a neat something. And so it looks like there's been some updates on here, but I will tell people this particular link here, so you can go on there and no matter what stage you are, where you are, you can go on there and register yourself and your startup on this particular page right here. And
that's so the intake form that we use, and and based upon that, we'll give you a call back, and either probably mainly I or Gracie will talk with you and see what we can do to help in any way.
Yeah, so that's good. And so this startup roadmap, I'm trying to remember if I remember actually, and I guess I went to a different. Okay, so that's something different. Let me share that really quick here. I hadn't really paid attention to that before, so I want to make sure we see what that is. Let's see. It opened up another tab on me. So here it is. Yeah, so let's go. Let's just kind of skim through here. So yeah, so it's let's see. Yeah, so this looks like a pretty neat resource right here as well.
Yeah, that's the roadmap there. That we kind of put together. That's a good resource in terms of helping your small business as well.
Yeah. So so I was trying to think. Right now, I guess you're working on funding to kind of get the G beta and the G alpha thing back up and running as well.
We may be looking at that again this year. We're not quite sure at this point.
So that's so yeah.
One of the things I did want to mention, Lloyd, is the workspace that's available.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I forgot about that. Let me go ahead and start talking about it. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. Well, we just got a workspace that's available at a very reasonable price. It's located on the first floor of the SCI building. Very nice, very new, very modern, great location, right in the heart of downtown. And you can come in. You can either, there's different levels of membership that you can have. Our Juno Code is our guy that kind of runs that for us, and he'll be happy to give you a tour and also go over, what that would be. And it's you got the workspace. Also have the a sound booth where if you wanted to do a FaceTime or a Zoom, you can have that as well. So it's pretty nice workspace. And there's a picture of it there on the inside there. And then you have three.
It's really nice. Yeah, it's really.
And you can actually book a tour there if you go down a little bit, Lloyd.
There's the link right there.
Yeah. You can book a tour out there, but also there's a sound booth there that if you go back up, that I was talking about, where you can actually, do a Zoom from there. That's the booth, and it's you can't do anything when you go in. And if you've got a Zoom with someone for a business meeting, you can go in that sound booth and hold your Zoom call.
Yeah. So that's pretty neat. Okay. All righty. Okay. So yeah. So that's really what I hope that for a few minutes sort of help people understand that it's a place. No matter who you are, you can actually go down there and learn about what's going on. There's no reason actually not to, and take advantage of some of that stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. So Ronnie,
you can help in any way. Come by and see us for sure.
Yeah. So let's back up a little bit, and so just so people just know what motivates you. So you said when you left Pensacola, you went in the military. So it was that by choice or what?
Lord, just you don't spill all my secrets, Lord. No, actually, to be honest with you, and I don't want to, get too long winded, but at the time, I really didn't know what I wanted to do and sort of thing. So I said, military would be a good way to not only, gain a skill, but also, if I decide to go to college, and it'll help me pay for college. So later on, I did decide to go to college, and actually at the encouragement of my soon-to-be wife, we met there, and she's like, "Well, you need to go ahead and finish this," and so went into and she's from believe it or not, she's from Brooklyn. I'm from Pensacola, so talk about opposites, right? And so we decided that once we both finished college, we were going to move to Pensacola and raise our family here, and that's when we were here for 21 years. And actually, how I ended up in banking, I have an accounting degree. I wanted to be a CPA, but couldn't find a CPA job in Pensacola at the time. And I said, I'll just come in M-South, if you remember M-South, which is the
for sure.
Regions, offered me the brand new management program, and got into it and decided like, hey, I might have just stumbled into this by chance and I like it. That sort of thing. And so you got to do the financials, which from the accounting portion of it, you also got to get out and network and meet people, which I also enjoy. So, and started in banking and I was 1993. So like I said, going on 30 years now.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. Now, I think I definitely like our audience to get to know the people they'll be working with and that are trying to help them, and what actually motivates them. So So
well, a lot of talk about motivation. I got a call from Quinn and said, hey, well, we want to, and he mentioned that statistic. We'd love for you to come back and help minority businesses. And I figured the latter part of my career that I would do that. I have a passion for helping folks. What's not better than helping someone and seeing them succeed, and so in helping them kind of guide them. So I said, for the latter part of my career, this is what I would do. And so make the big decision to come from Texas and move back to Pensacola.
Yeah, that's we're definitely glad to have you to help be kind of a spokesman and a relationship person to kind of help grow minority businesses, here in the Pensacola area. And so, I think that's good. And so it was one other thing I did want to cover with you. And this is more, it's like the kind of like atmosphere, the ecosystem, or so when you look at, and you and I were talking earlier about this, about the to kind of describe what you think drives the Dallas ecosystem over there, or the community over there, to why is Dallas so hustle bustle over there as compared to a place like here in Pensacola?
Yeah, we kind of talked about that off cuff here earlier. We were just talking about some other things, and we were mentioning about attracting businesses and attracting high paying jobs. And I was mentioning that you just gotta sometimes just build it. Like Dallas is known as a technology hub, and 20 years ago it was not, and that sort of thing. And another thing we talked about was attracting businesses, right? And so I mentioned to you earlier that Dallas just a couple of years ago attracted Toyota North America, which is Mexico, US, and Canada. They all are headquarters here in Dallas. But one of the things they wanted to see when they came was, your workforce and the education of your workforce. And that was all the way from elementary school all the way through college. And they wanted to see, housing. Is your housing affordable? And then they wanted to see your infrastructure. Do you have proper roads for our folks to get back and forth? Because if you're a CEO and you're in California and you're thinking, well, I'm going to move my company to Texas. These are all things that go through your mind for your employees, right? That's a huge decision for him, because that actually brought in right about 4,000 jobs at one time, and all high-end paying jobs. So, that's sort of things that, we real definitely, I was in that market for 21 years, and I totally understand the Pensacola market, and we can get there. It's just going to take some work, like from folks like us that are out there, and have that motivation of what drives you. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so the but we also talked about the workforce, you know, and how educated the people were there, what kind of skills they had to go work for these companies. And in the startup world, we need software developers and software architects to kind of help build stuff. We need graphics people, to design, user interfaces and user experiences. And so, and what I see here in Pensacola is I don't see a lot of people with skills that know how to build stuff. And so I think it's something we need to create here in our community.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree, and especially on the tech side. I
Yes.
mean, and it's not like we've got a great flagship university at
Yeah.
UWF
Hmm.
right in our hometown. We've got Pensacola State College,
Yeah.
and it's just a matter of getting that skill set out there. And also, once you do that, it's a matter of attracting a company or companies that will come and recognize the value and everything that we have to offer. Because we're talking just from the business side, Pensacola is a great place to live as well. I mean,
Yeah.
we one of the most beautiful places you've ever seen in
Yes.
terms of beaches. So we just need to really promote our city, and I think some of that is already going on. We just
It,
need
it,
to
it is,
Mhm.
but I tend to flip it around. I say you need these type people to if you want to have an economy where you're creating new products and services, and that's what kind of economy we're in right now, where it's an innovation economy where people are creating new products and service, and you need that talent to do it. So my hypothesis is if you had that talent here, you would have startups building stuff, new stuff, innovative stuff, and creating stuff. And that's what I think is it's the mindset we got to get people to see is you have to create what you want. You can't wait for it actually to happen.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I was recently invited to the chambers, and you know about this, Lloyd. You're on the chamber board, the
Hmm.
2030
Yeah.
vision, and I think some of those things are in there.
Oh
I
yeah.
would tell you just again the educational piece. When we talked with Toyota, it was huge for them. It was huge. I mean, they really
Hmm.
wanted to know, and it's huge for any parent as well. We have folks move here just because of the educational system from another state, and they're moving here now. They have there's job opportunities. They're moving as
Yes.
well, but they'll come to this part. Let me rephrase that. They'll come to this part of Dallas, which is North Dallas, because of the educational system,
Gotcha.
and that's where most of the companies are moving up to North Dallas. State
Hmm.
Farm moved their headquarters from Seattle
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to
So
Dallas.
I had the opportunity to visit Dallas. I was going out there for a conference, and I everywhere I go, I always check out the startup ecosystem and what they have. They have in Dallas, they have what they call um, the Dallas Entrepreneur Center, and they have several locations
Yeah,
throughout the area there. And so what was amazing to me when I visited, so like on Wednesday, they have their 1 million cups just like we do here, and so it was all in the place where they have the co-working space, and so the first floor of the building was a co-working space, and then the where you have companies just getting started or whatever. Then the second floor had companies at a different stage, and the third floor had companies that were further along. But and so they built these type places all over Dallas, and that was just one of the entrepreneur places. And
yeah.
so it makes it their environment. So you got an environment where people are creating stuff. They're coming up with ideas and building those things.
Yeah, yeah. Part of that, Lord, is that in the DFW area, there's 7.2 million people.
Yes.
So it's really not an apples to apples compared to
Yeah.
So you're going to need 20 of something because it's so big and there's so many folks.
Oh yeah.
But I think on a smaller scale, we can start those things in
Yes.
Pensacola through Kukua, through the Spring, through
Yeah.
CoLab, all those
Yeah.
things. It's there. It's just a matter of bringing them all together, and I think some of that things are happening right now. So I'm excited about what's gonna happen in the next 4 or 5
Yes.
years.
Yeah, and so I want to kind of go through this newsletter thing, so you can just I don't know if you had a chance to look at one of them in any great detail yet,
Mhm.
but and so one of the things I was talking to my team about, we got to reorganize this newsletter, so if where the opportunities that are presented here, where if you, depending on which stage you're at, you can kind of home into the right opportunities.
Sure.
And yeah, the first section of the newsletter talks about, take advantage of funding opportunities, and so like these programs for from all the major companies, they give you free products and service. So like IBM, you can get up to $100,000 in services from IBM, depending on what you have to do. So if you moving along and and with your idea, and you got it built, and now you need to do, or you need training or whatever. You can, like on F6S, you can actually build your profile up and request a link for this startup program with IBM and get up to 100,000 credits. And so, like, let's say if right now, if I had a need for $10,000 a month in cloud credits to run all my software products,
Hmm.
the I could actually put in a request as a startup, and they would literally give me $10,000 a month worth of credits to run my software of my company.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and AWS, and I did take advantage of AWS for my company. It actually has they give out on F6S. If you do that, they can go up to 100,000 as well. But on F6S, if you build your profile, they'll give you and the link to go over to AWS and get like $30,000 worth of credits. And so,
Okay.
but all these different companies, they have training that they go through. So, like IBM is floods you with training on how to build whatever you're trying to build, and it's just pretty amazing. I got a meeting with the Google people. I think next week, just to kind of understand how you build stuff on their
Sure.
platform. And
Sure.
these are companies that want to help you move forward. And so a lot of these other things are just all different values, and the reason so some of our portfolio companies are, this is open to all startups, and so for all founders. So but the problem is when you apply for these things, you have to pitch your idea. And when you pitch your idea, you have to have all those components. So you have a Google form or a form that you fill out, and then but you have to articulate all these things about your product. So this is like in your case, Rodney, this is like your loan package that you
Right.
put to get the
Right.
loan. So you're
Exactly right.
literally pitching your idea or your company to these different programs.
Right. Lord, I think we have a question here.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Is it possible to use your company financials only if an established business, if an established business loan 3 to 5 years in business versus a personal finances? If not, why? That's a great question. Now, I get that question all the time. Thank you, Ms. Vance, for that question.
Okay.
And I can only answer it from a commercial lending standpoint, and what the normal loan is that you have something that you want to purchase, or you have, and I'm talking real estate, whether it be inventory, whether it be equipment, whether it be, you would actually make the loan in the name of the business with a personal guarantee with that loan. So you would personally guarantee it and have your personal guarantee in case the business does not pay. There's been a few times in my career where that didn't happen, where there was a no personal guarantee, and it was things that really had the bank in terms of collateral, really made them comfortable. And I'll give you an example. Say you're looking at a $1 million building, and you say, well, I've been in business forever, and I want to buy this building, and but I don't want to personally guarantee it. And that means if something goes wrong, then we have the building back, and and that's it. We've got to deal with the building, and you don't have a personal guarantee. Well, I've seen that happen a few times with a low loan to value, and it's probably not the answer you want to hear. But say, the building's $1 million, and you're going to put $500,000 down. So now that lessens the bank's risk, because now you only have a 50% loan to value, and if something happens, we feel like, well, we'll be able to, get out of that credit. So I hope that answers your question, because I really get that question all the time, because you see those things on YouTube and articles and stuff like that. Buy a car and, go to the dealership and don't buy it in your personal name. You just use your financials and stuff like that. And that may be true. I've never tried that. Of course, I wasn't on the dealer side of the house. I was on the commercial lending side of the house. So, but from a commercial lending standpoint, that's why we kind of require the personal guarantee, so that if the business doesn't pay, then we look for the actual owner. And you can actually on this few times in my career that I've seen that not happen is when you had a very low loan of value on a very good piece of collateral. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes, that's great answer there, Rodney. Yes, and so, but this part of the email, and this is just stuff that people send to me and stuff that's out there. But like, even so, like, Rodney, so this particular one here, this grant, so it's actually for anybody, a developer or a team of developers that actually have an idea for the blockchain. And if you use this Definity software to build your application, they will give you you can get apply for a $25,000 grant.
Oh, wow.
So this is a case where you don't actually have to be a company.
Oh, wow.
You just build.
That's an actual grant, Lord, in terms of actual cash, and not like cloud credits or anything like that.
No, that's cash money.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Yeah. And so
nice.
that's kind of an example. So there's some accelerated programs on here. These are all founders, but there's just plenty of them that are out there. And when you see the fellowships or entrepreneur and resident, those for individuals as well. Now, you all contracted with Generator to do the G Alpha and G Beta program, but they have tons of accelerated programs out there that give like 100,000 for equity, and so on and so forth. And like I said, the companies like Amazon, they have accelerated programs as well. So there's no shortage of stuff that's out there. Now, this Hello Alice thing, they actually these are all the stuff they list on their site and that we have in there. They're literally grants that they tend to be like, the highest one tend to be like 25,000, but they're for small businesses, and there are grants. And so what I think people don't. So one of the points I always like to make on this thing. So when you apply for one of these things, even if you're not ready for it, you at least understand what the questions are, so you can be better prepared the next time around when they actually have it. And so here's one. So Rodney, so we here in the city of Pensacola, this is one the city of Pensacola can actually apply for to support our city.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a competition, but yeah. And then veterans, and like I said, I met Mike last night, and we're going to find out some more stuff and beef up this veteran stuff for veterans and their families. These different programs, and then these. So I got a smaller section here for programs for founders of color, and so I tend to put the ones in red that are expiring soon. Now the G Alpha, this is actually up in Madison, but it gives you an example that Urban League is actually funding this program, for a G Alpha program up there. But they offer a lot of. So they also Generator also has the program, and I thought I put it on this list. Oh, here it is right here. the Bronze Valley Accelerator. So they open that up to any minority founders. You can be here in Florida and actually apply for that program as well. Yeah.
And these are all on your website?
No, this is the newsletter that
the newsletter. That's right.
Yeah. It's actually, we send it out every week so people can kind of know what opportunities that are out there. And so for women founders, and so as a nonprofit, even like the Student Community Institute can actually, these are grants and stuff that nonprofits can apply for. So for Kukua Institute, there is a $25,000 grant that we applied for, and so it's an accelerated program. So we applied for it last year. We didn't get accepted, so we put in another application this year, but we take advantage of that. This Fast Forward company. This is a free training right here for nonprofit, and that same organization also do this playbook here as well. And so I added this section in here about talent. Okay, so like this is so crazy here. Like if you're a minority, all the different like Microsoft, Google, they actually will train you. You can actually upskill, and they provide scholarships for you to go through those upskilling programs. And I put that out there, and we had one of our founders. He needed help building his application, so I had him apply for this TechQuest apprenticeship, and so he's actually got accepted into that, and since he works for his own company, he's going to be apprentice at his own company. And so and so he's going to get free software training and mentorship for a year, and get some more certifications. So these are opportunities out there, and these are just some resource sites that I put in there. But what I think people don't understand is, if you don't actually start clicking on these links and go through there and see what it is, because you have to know, if you're building something, you have to know what you need, what's going to be required if you want to get some of this free stuff. And that's kind of what my point is. So you kind of definitely have to look and see. And there's a lot of sites, for all founders that you can take advantage of. Founders of color, women founders, our upcoming events, and just on and on. Right. And so, but I just wanted to make sure all the local resources and some other things out there for folks. And this particular thing has 742 different programs for Black founders.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's no shortage of help out there, but you have to learn how to pitch your idea correctly, and you have to take advantage of what we're trying to do is start up on the blocks to kind of help move you forward, and that's kind of what my selling thing is.
That's nice. So, that's a great list, Lloyd.
Okay, and there's no shortage, and so that's what the deal is. So we're getting close to the end. Any more questions out there?
Well, hello, gentlemen. Great presentation and an interview and information, Rodney and Singer. There are no more questions that I see, so I'm the ghost behind the scenes that's clicking and adding and making the screen do all strange things. I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody at Startup on the Blocks. We appreciate you visiting. We have the networking that's always there from 6 to 7 Central Time that we want you to participate in. And these conversations, like we're having with Mr. Rodney Jackson, are invaluable to all of us in the startup community in Pensacola and Escambia County. And so we really want you to feel inspired. Please feel free to engage either on our Facebook page right here in Hopin, We're using some different background stuff than what we did in 2021. So we're actually using StreamYard. So I'm actually toggling between like 3 and 4 things at one time while this is going on. So there's so many things that we're trying to do to help enhance this experience for you. So please stay engaged. Thank you again, Rodney, for being here. We hope that you come back again, and we look forward to working with you.
Yeah,
thank you guys for the work that you guys are doing. Wonderful.
Right. Wonderful. Yeah, so Rodney, in the audience, I wanted to announce that we're gonna, on the last Saturday of the month, we're gonna do like kind of like an open house for founders, all founders, and we're gonna invite them to the Kukua Institute and do a little networking. There, we have a session this past summer, and it was really fantastic, and so we definitely want. I'll put the information out on that so we can. And the main reason why we're doing it, we have those people that applied for our last pitch competition. We want to kind of, meet them in person and kind of make them aware of some of the things that are going on. And we also have the office hours every Saturday from 1 to 3. So if you can ask questions and get the help you need to kind of move forward as well.
Wonderful.
All righty. Well, thank you, Rodney. We appreciate you taking some time to share your knowledge, and we appreciate the people out in the audience that's participating as well. So we'll see everyone next week, next Thursday. We have a great guest coming, somebody with a media background that's building a product around her experience and being in the media for so long. So we'll learn about her journey, and so we can kind of move forward.
Exciting.
Oh, and Pat is putting out his thing here. Let's see if we can get that. So that should be a great event that's coming up. So check advantage of that in the thing and participate in that. That would be a good event to kind of go see, because there are going to be some programmers there. And if you need a programmer to help build your product or service, that should be a good event to go and actually meet some of those type of people.
Oh, nice.
Right. We appreciate all you all participating. Thanks a lot, Rodney. And we'll be keep in touch, and we'll be chatting.
We'll see you soon. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.